I've got here a Sili Glue Pod and 3 fine brushes. This is a really good little setup for doing a whole range of fine glue up jobs. The pot has a top and bottom section. We can pour our glue as a reservoir in the bottom. We can also put our glue on the inside of the top. We can decant our glue from here with our fine tips for doing our glue up jobs. We can also pop this on the top of here, and then what we can do is put our brushes while they're dripping off back into the tray to keep it all neat and tidy. Once we've finished doing our glue up job, we can leave our glue in there and we can pop the top back on and leave that for another day. The tips of these are flexible and they are also silicone, which means they're very easy to clean off, either straight away with water on the wet glue or later on just peeling the whole of the area off. I can show you some typical uses of these different shaped tips. So I've got this for a domino. I can dip into my reservoir and then use this into here to really get my glue down into where my joint is. I can also use that to actually put on my face for a nice consistent layer of glue on there. Pop my domino in and use it to remove any extra squeeze out as well if I need to. Also, for things like the small dowel hole here, that one might be better with this really quite a sharp tip getting into here to get some of that glue moved around before I actually put my dowel in. To get a consistent bead of glue into a groove, you can either go straight from the bottle and squeeze them in. I then find this tip here with the little grooves in it is fantastic just for moving that glue around and spreading him properly within that groove. A little bit on the sides, really good coverage. Any excess glue that's on there will easily drip back into the top of the tray as well, so you're not getting mess all over your workbench while you're using it. If I were gluing up a mitered box, what I would actually do is get myself prepared. I'll get all my timber sanded and polished on the inside surface. I've not done it with this one. And then I would get this against a good straight edge, line these components up so the mitre looks good, and I would use some decent tape like this Tessa tape, pull it nice and taut, and I will use the tape almost to act as a bit of a hinge, which means we're using the tape to keep our boards nice and straight against the straight edge, acting as a bit of a hinge so when we've glued him we can bring that joint together beautifully. So I'll apply my glue with this one with the little ribs on it, which gives me a good coverage inside my mitres. I'll put it on both faces. If I've then got too much glue in any particular area, I will use this fine tip one, either just to move that glue around again, or one of the other fine tip areas just to remove bits if it's just squeezing out a little bit much in places, just so we're keeping the job really nice and clean before we bring this round to our mitered finish. If you do get any internal squeeze out, obviously you've already got a polish on here, so it wouldn't make a huge amount of difference, but you can either come in with either the pointy red end just to remove some of this excess glue and get him wiped away, and or come in with a flexible black end. This will not damage the inside of your box, but you will end up with a really clean internal finish. If I'm doing my dovetails, again, I want to get glue on all of these faces. This side grain gluing is the strongest, but the end grain is also worth putting some glue onto. We want to get glue in there nice and carefully onto all of those matching up surfaces. If you want to, again, you can use the pointy end just to spread that glue around, so we're going to get a good gluing surface. If we feel we've got a little bit too much glue in there, just use the end of one of these just to remove some of that glue. Too much glue can also be a problem. You'll end up getting too much squeeze out. So if we finished our gluing for the day, we can either just put our top back on top and keep it for another day. We may be able to get a damp cloth just to wipe off the excess, otherwise we'll wash it out at the sink. If you've got old Titebond in your pot and you want to start with fresh, it's actually gone off, then you should be able to easily just get in there and peel it out in one great big lump. Not only can you easily peel out a PVA or a Titebond glue quite easily, also this expanding PU glue will come out of here and leave you with a very clean pot ready to go again. If you want to buy our Sili Glue Pod, check us out on woodworkersworkshop.co.uk. For more information on the other Sili products, look at our YouTube and social media channels, or look at them on our website.